Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Jeff at Lockdown Security, www.lockdownsecurity.ca. And today I am bringing you a video on the brand new Nakamichi NA3625-W6, which is their 6.8-inch double DIN wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto digital media receiver. I know that's a lot to say, but essentially it's the new generation of the prior Nakamichi receivers that I have done review videos on. Now, one thing I want to say is this video is sponsored by our LDS brand P5, P6, and P7 dash camera batteries. This piece here is the P7. This is actually what I am running this Nakamichi radio off of. It's very cool. This is a product that you would use in your vehicle if you have a dash camera and you don't want to drain your vehicle battery while using the dash camera in parking mode. What's cool about the P7, and I have a video which I'll link down below that I've done on this battery, is that it has a built-in inverter. So essentially you've got portable power on the go, lightweight. It's like a portable power pack, but it's designed to be used with dash cameras. However, with that inverter, you can do a lot of cool, unique things. So thank you, LDS, for sponsoring this video. I will put a link down below for all of you interested in this battery pack for a coupon to save 10%. Back to our regular scheduled programming, which is this Nakamichi NA3625. Now, this is essentially a pretty cool receiver. It's very similar in operating system setup to the Blaupunkt Orlando 750, and I did do a video of that receiver recently. But some of the things that are different on this receiver is obviously its touch button controls here on the side. No physical buttons at all. It's all capacitive touch. Same with the touch screen. Now, I have to be honest with you, I'm not super impressed with the responsiveness. Now, this is a very entry-level receiver at a very low price, so I honestly can't ask a whole lot of it, but full disclosure, I wasn't super happy with the responsiveness of the touchscreen. I think the older models did a little bit better. Now, that might be something that I can adjust or that you as a user could adjust if you calibrate the touchscreen, but right out of the box as I've taken this, I'm not 100% impressed with the touchscreen responsiveness. Now, there are certain actions that it works really well. As you can see, I'm touching it here. But as you can see, like if I have to touch a screen multiple times, or if I'm not sure that it actually received my touch command, then the responsiveness is a bit of an issue. Now, I don't want to knock the radio because like I said earlier, the value of this radio is quite good. This has got wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It's got 4-volt RCA pre-outs. It's a capacitive panel. It can handle 1080p video. I was trying to figure out what inputs it has because it certainly won't do 1080 on the composite input, which I'll show you in a moment. I'm assuming that if you have a 1080p digital video file on the USB, you'd be able to play it back on the video screen. It's got camera inputs, so backup camera. It's got time alignment, low pass filter, high pass filter. And then obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it's got Apple CarPlay and both Android Auto, and both of these are wireless, which is pretty cool. Also comes with a GPS receiver. Now, when I say GPS receiver, I don't mean GPS nav. The GPS receiver that this comes with basically makes your Apple CarPlay, Apple Maps, Google Maps, Waze, or Android, Google Maps or Waze, much more accurate when you're doing directions. So when it's telling you where to go, it cross-references your location data, not only from the phone handset itself, but from the GPS antenna that is plugged in on the rear. Let's go back to the home menu. So as you can see, these are touch buttons. That's another thing, like I'm not 100% a huge fan of touch buttons. I really like the physical buttons. The reason being is that you have to think that if you're in a vehicle and it's dark or you're driving, your attention shouldn't need to be on the radio to figure out what button you're pressing. Now, obviously you would know what button you're pressing by the response of the radio itself. But, you know, if you don't want to take your eyes off the road, it would be better if these were physical buttons. I mean, at the end of the day, they've taken up the real estate for the buttons here. So why not make it physical rather than touch? I'm not sure. Again, I'm kind of knocking on the radio. I do like it, but these are some of the things that as a buyer, you should be aware of. I like it because Wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto has routinely been a feature that you have to spend $500, $600, $700 to get. The fact that this is an entry-level receiver, and we're talking pricing between $200 to $400 for this receiver, that is unbelievable value. So that's something that you can say about this receiver. As you can see, it comes with a double DIN cage, a double DIN trim ring. So you've got different mounting methods. Obviously, it holds the cage in with the keys. It comes with the keys in the box. As you may have seen at the beginning of the video, it also comes with a wireless remote. My verdict is out whether I believe in wireless remotes for car radios. I mean, it's pretty cool. If you had this and you were outside the vehicle, let's say you were at a picnic or you were playing the audio with your doors open, you have a remote to control it, or if you want backseat passengers to control it. But the reality is wireless remotes, more of a gimmick for most car receivers, because guess what? You're within range of touching the screen. Now, you'll notice that I have this wired up to the battery. It's not really permanently wired, so if I move this, it may shut the radio off. But what I want to do is just change this up a little bit to show you the rear. So you can see well laid out on the rear. It does have this interesting feature, which is the wireless right here, the wireless CarPlay antenna. This is the GPS input here. This is your power input. And then these are all your RCA inputs for front, rear, and subwoofer, as well as your camera input and your antenna input. This is the heat sink. So you can see the depth. It is typical double DIN depth. It might be a little bit shallower than normal, but essentially it is quite deep. Now that is a little bit odd too, because this is a digital media receiver. So there really is no reason that this needs to be this deep of a chassis. It could be probably half as deep because there's no mechanisms in this for playing DVDs or CDs. So that's another thing to consider. If you don't have a lot of depth behind the radio opening in your vehicle, this might not be the receiver for you. But that pretty much wraps up the review of this radio. Again, you know, positive review overall, but me personally, I might say consider the Blaupunkt over this one, just due to the control of the Blaupunkt. And also, I think the Blaupunkt comes in a little bit lower price than the Nakamichi. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, this does have dual USB inputs. One is your USB generic input. The other one is your CarPlay Android Auto input if you want to hardwire your CarPlay Android Auto with a USB cable. Also, this has built-in steering wheel control in it. Let me just demonstrate that. I'm not sure if it came disconnected. Let's take a look. No, we're still on. So let me just go to the settings menu here. If I go here, this is the internal steering wheel control module interface programming. So as long as your vehicle has an analog steering wheel interface, you can save money without needing to buy an external interface and use the interface that's built into this radio. That's one of the big selling features of Nakamichi receivers. The Blaupunkt has it too, but Nakamichi was one of the first radio brands to include the steering wheel control interface in it. I believe it's actually a bit of a thunderstorm outside, so I apologize for the thunder. Sony also includes built-in steering wheel control interfaces, but for an entry-level receiver with both wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and a built-in steering wheel interface, if you're looking for a receiver to hit a price budget, I mean, you really can't go wrong with the Nakamichi receiver, or like I was saying, the Blaupunkt 2. So that's my honest review. Sorry, Nakamichi, if it wasn't 100% positive all the way through, but at the end of the day, I do think you're getting great value with this receiver. Also, I think you're getting great value with the LDS P5, P6, or P7 dash camera battery. But if you like this video, I want you to hit the like button. And if you could, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to make more videos like this for our viewers, reviewing different car stereo receivers, because we think it does a service to people that just want to know the ins and outs and not just what you see online. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or concerns, post us a comment down below. sales@lockdownsecurity.ca is our email. 1-866-824-4118 is our toll-free number. And we look forward to making more videos like this for you in the future. Thank you for watching.